accurate forecast from the WATE 6 on your side storm team.
That's the same storm system that'll be heading our way as we go through the overnight hours. Probably not to that extent, though. But since these are moving through in the overnight hours, I just want to make sure you have multiple ways that you can get alerts. That's why we're going to stay weather aware. Much quieter after sunrise tomorrow, at least sky condition wise. We've got sunshine, but the winds are going to stay quite brisk. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. Just a few scattered showers around. Here's what's interesting to me. Notice temperatures, how cool they are. Low 50s, mid 50s, upper 50s. But we've got upper 60s and low 70s to the south and west. That's the strong southerly flow bringing the warmer air, the more humid air, the more unstable air back across portions of the plateau ahead of this system. That's what we'll be watching over the next couple of hours. This is Nashville. Look at the west side there from Paris down to Camden. We have some tornado warnings ongoing there. Severe thunderstorm warning between Clifton and Centerville. All those lifting to the north and east. So again, as that storm system pushes in our direction, we'll be watching it. It's ahead of the cold front, which is crossing the Mississippi River now. So what we have to watch for are these little isolated cells that kind of develop out ahead of eventually this main line that will slide through later tonight. The main line is what will produce the damaging wind potential threat. The isolated little cells ahead of it are the ones we really have to watch because those are the ones that could produce some isolated tornadoes. Still the highest risk areas there, 5 out of 5 from Memphis to Tupelo to Pine Bluff, and then we see it slowly drop down as we work our way east. But just because it's a little lower from Knoxville eastward, I don't want you to let your guard down, again, especially with these coming through in the overnight hours. Yes, the more likely opportunity for the severe storm threat is back across portions of the plateau, especially like I showed you, if Knoxville north and eastward doesn't get into that warmer air as we go through the overnight hours. I think eventually we will. The question is, will that line get here before we see those warmer temperatures move in? Let's talk about the timing with this. Here's where we are now at 11 o'clock, still pretty quiet as I showed you. I'll stop it at 2 a.m., that line of storms from southeast Kentucky back across the plateau. So that's about the time we'll be watching, near 1 a.m. Central, about 2 Eastern. Sliding eastward very quickly. This is 5 o'clock in the morning and it's already moving into the valley and pushing east by the time we get to 7 o'clock in the morning. Then some sunshine is quickly returning after it starts to rise across the area just before 7:30. And we're mainly sunny by noon, but those winds are going to be absolutely gusting. Could be gusting 40 plus miles per hour at times anywhere across East Tennessee with stronger winds in the higher elevations. And again, that's behind the storms that move through. So what about the storms coming through overnight? What kind of impacts am I looking at? Well, low hail threat, medium threat for heavy rain, and medium threat for wind damage. I think that will be our biggest concern simply because trees have all blossomed out, at least the majority have. They kind of act like a sail from a sailboat when the strong winds push them over. And yes, there is an opportunity for a couple of brief, short-lived tornadoes that could form ahead of or right along that line as it moves through. So I just want you to be prepared because the winds themselves can easily do damage if we're talking 60, 70 plus mile per hour winds. So it's okay to go to sleep tonight. Just make sure you have multiple ways that you can get alerts and you have your safety plan in place now so you'll know what to do if a warning is issued in your area. And if you do have our weather app downloaded, just make sure your phone is not on Do Not Disturb or in silent mode, okay? You have to make sure you have alerts turned on so you'll get the notifications. I mentioned the storms moving through before sunset. Look at the wind potential through the afternoon. Maybe winds gusting over 55 across the area shaded in blue and maybe near 70 or higher above about 3,000 feet in the Smokies. Finally, we get a chance to breathe by the time we get to Sunday. And thankfully, it's perfect for marathon race day for the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon. Cool start at 38, highs right around 65, but sunshine should be a little warmer as we head into next week.